What is good, YouTube? Up here on the creek in the middle of nowhere that I've fished a couple of times this year. But what we're going to do is start off a series of videos using stuff from a TEMU order that I had recently did. And we're going to use either ultra micro grubs, which I think are like 0.39 inches long, you know, just a hair over a quarter of an inch. And we've also got some micro swim baits, which are, I think, inch and a quarter, inch and a half, something like that. They're small. So what I've got here is a roulette wheel app on my phone. I'm going to give it one good turn, and whatever it lands on is what we're going to use. Now, we may catch micro bluegill, we may catch some, you know, creek bass. I don't know, I don't care. I just want to catch some fish. So I'm going to give it one turn, and whatever it lands on is what we're going to use. And there you go. I'm gonna get these swim baits out real quick and show you what I'm talking about. We've got these right here. I believe these are like 1.5 inches long, something like that. And we've got, well, can't really see them because they're hid behind this barcode, but they're basically a micro Kitech Easy Shiner. They're tiny little things. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna take both of them down there with some jig heads and see what all we can catch in about an hour, hour and a half. All right, we're all rigged up on my lighter rod, the 7'1" ACC crappie sticks. I've got a Shimano Noski with 5-pound braid, and I have a little 1 1/4 inch swim bait with a 1/32 ounce head to start out. And on my 6-foot one-piece ACC, I have a 1.5 inch swim bait with a 1/16 ounce head to start out. The swim bait heads I did not order from TEMU, however, it doesn't matter because it's my video. I'm gonna use the jig heads that I want. I should make sure my license is in there because the game warden literally just drove by, and I'm pretty sure it's the one that's checked me twice this year already, which I don't have a problem with it. If they want to see my license, that's whatever. I don't care. I ain't got nothing to hide. I mean, I get why people don't want to buy a license or refuse to buy a license. But if you refuse to buy a license, then you're openly putting yourself in a much worse situation if you were to get caught without a license. So it makes more sense to spend the money on a license instead of getting hundreds of dollars worth of fines and all that mess. I mean, it's really just stupid to go that route. Okay, which do I want to start with first? I think we'll just start with the smallest of the two first. Tell you one thing for sure. It is entirely too warm for this hoodie, but for no more gear than I'm bringing down here with me, I'm not about to drag my backpack down here. Ooh. Hey, I like to know that's, I like knowing that's in here. Big old, ooh, hey now, you're sharp in a lot of places, so don't do that. Big old red breast. That right there tells me spring is officially here. Now, as far as the calendar goes, it is here, and it has been. But when I start seeing the red breast move into creeks and stuff, I just stripped all the paint off that almost. When I start seeing red breasts show up in creeks and stuff, that tells me that spring is here. Now, where's my phone so that I can get me a picture and get you back? But yeah, that was on the 1 1/4 inch TEMU swim bait, and that little eagle claw head, I stripped all that paint off. But hey, that's all right. That is all right. Baits are going to get beat up, scratched, paint's going to be busted off. That's what baits are for. Ooh, there's a hit. There's another one. It's surprising how much action this tiny little TEMU swim bait has. I mean, it doesn't look like it would have a lot, but there's a lot of action in that little swim bait. And there's just another one. Nice little gill. Don't flop because you're sharp too. That's what I'm talking about. And if you're new here, I take a picture of every single fish that I catch. The reason being is I have a logbook. And it's easiest for me to remember what I caught on what day by just taking a simple picture and then deleting the picture once that entry is updated in my logbook. Another one. These tiny little TEMU swim baits have got so much action in them, even when you're reeling them real slow. Like, we've only been down here filming for 7 minutes and already caught 3 fish. It's fine by me. Hey, got us one. Itty bitty little gillikin. Now I'm telling you what, and it may just be because they're post spawn and they're starting to bulk back up. I don't know, but this is, let's see. But all right, come loose now. But 2-3 weeks ago, I couldn't buy a bite from a bluegill with anything. Like, I could barely get them to bite worms, and that's saying something. I had like 2 little bluegill and a green sunfish fighting over it right there. This one feels a little bit nicer. Yeah, not really. I mean, it is a decent little bluegill. We'll give this one a couple of more fish and switch over to the bigger one and see what happens. God, I'm running into so many freaking fish just swimming it. And like I said, even with a real slow retrieve, well, that one lost the tail, but there's still some plastic there that I can work with. Ooh. I don't have a stringer with me, but best bet. Ooh, don't do that, don't do that. I don't have a stringer with me, but that's eating size. You know, I'm gonna film it when I get home. I'm going to put in a video clip me putting my stringer in my vehicle and in my backpack so that I don't forget it. But since that one had the tail like broke off of it, I just cast it out there and just worked it like I was hover strolling, like I've talked about in several other videos. Just reeling it real slow, just a steady retrieve like that, just giving it real slight twitches, and I saw that crappie come up and nail it. Alright, seems like they've kind of give up on the one without the tail on it, so I'm gonna swap out. I'm going to go to that one. A little bit bigger swim bait, not by much. It's like 1.5 inches, where the one we started with was 1.25 inches. But this one's got a little bit bigger swim bait head. Well, that is strange. I fished this side and the other side of the bridge with a slightly larger swim bait, and they want nothing to do with it. So, I'm going to go back to the smaller one, put a new body on it, hope that that changes our luck a little bit. And first cast back with the smaller one. You know, first cast got a bite. And second cast, caught a fish. Pretty little gill. That's strange. They'll tear the smaller one up, but the one that's 1/4 inch bigger, they won't touch it. Look, I fished with it for probably 15-20 minutes and might have gotten 2 bites off of it. Finally got another one. It's been a few minutes. I'm also trying to be a little bit quieter because people are fishing on the other side. But I've had to change out baits a couple of times because it is very apparent that the tails of these little swim baits, while the body is pretty stout. Let me get this untangled. There we go. The bodies are pretty stout, but that little tail section right there is terribly weak. I've had them bite the tail off several times. Hey, we finally hooked into something. It's been a minute. Actually, it's been about 30. Little crappie. Alright now, I know you ain't hooked that daggum good. There we go. A little black crappie. Probably getting post spawn because these are starting to get a little bit darker. Because once the spawn kicks on for crappie, the males get super dark. And it is about that time of year that they start doing that. Howdy, howdy.
Hey, look.
A couple of bluegill and some rocks, that's about it. Starting to see some crappies start moving up shallow, starting to get a lot darker.
Have you seen any crappie today?
I caught 2. One of them was about 10, and the other one was about 8.5.
Okay. Man, these are new license?
Yeah, it's the 75th.
Yeah.
It took them forever to get them to me, which my USPS, once it gets in their hand, it takes forever. But I kept the email just in case.
Perfect. You keeping any crappie or you throw them all back?
I just been throwing them all back. If I don't catch at least 2 or 3 to make it worth all the trouble, I just chuck them back and let them get bigger.
I got you. All right, brother.
All righty, have a good one. Hey, gotta get hands on for it to count, because it has been a minute. Pretty little bluegill. That one's got some purples and all kinds of pretty colors in it. Now we're gonna give her about 15 more minutes. See if anything happens. Well, YouTube, I am calling it quits. The bite really just died off like real quick there, and yeah, game warden did come back around. He's checked me like 3 times, but it's all good. I ain't got nothing to hide. I actually like talking to the game wardens, and he brought up a very valid point. He, you know, when the game wardens stop and talk to people and they're, you know, figuring stuff out, noticing things, you know, getting, you know, help from them on, you know, where fish are biting at and things like that. You know, it's valuable information for the game wardens when they can sit and have a decent conversation with the outdoorsmen and outdoors women. And I told him, I was like, I understand there's a lot of people hate getting checked, don't think you have to and all that, or don't think you should. I don't have nothing to hide. I don't mind getting checked. I've always got my license on me in some form. But anyway, I'll probably come back up here tomorrow and just mess around with some micro fishing, because these are the little baits that I was talking about. These are 0.39 inches. Anyway, I'm gonna get home and get this video put together. Also, fun fact, I was pretty sure this game warden watches my channel and Creek Fishing Adventures, which that's fine. I've talked to him several times. He's a pretty cool dude. But anyway, hope you liked the video. We'll see you in the next one.